All right, super coaches, we're going to be breaking down the next phase coming up, which is our performance phase, with just the lifting components first. And then obviously you'll see a series of videos about each week, each workout, and how that's going to be broken down. So first of all, we've just spent a lot of time doing some high volume work and then a bunch of pauses with our lifts. So sets of 8 there. What's going to happen over the next 3 weeks during the performance phase is that the reps are going to start coming down. And then we are going to move into some testing elements as well. And the stations will then lengthen into our 18-minute blocks. So what's going to happen with our back squat, deadlift, bench press, inverted row? On the inverted row, we're going to start to see pull-ups and chin-ups come back into it. So that's wicked. On the back squat, deadlift, bench press, in the first week, they're going to be coming down to sets of 5. The stations are still 9 minutes. And it does have in there 3+ reps in reserve. Now, because we're going to be testing the week after, our suggestion would probably be to not do 3+ reps in reserve, like a 9 rep then essentially, but get them to kind of build to a challenging set of 5. So you have a couple of reps in the tank, because when they move into testing, they're going to be exposed to some heavier loads. So we want to make sure that our members are ready for that and they're not just jumping these kind of exponential amounts when they do their tests. So week 7 of that performance phase, or week 1 of the performance phase, is going to be sets of 5, build to a heavy. They have 9-minute stations. They're probably going to be able to get through 4 sets in that time frame. Make sure you write up on the boards as well the timings at which they should go. We can obviously talk about that as well, but that's going to keep them on track so they get in some heavy-ish lifts. By that 4th set, they're good to go. When we move into the next week, the time frame lengthens out, so it's going to go to an 18-minute station. You'll probably see on the Academy it has post RMs, what to do afterwards. Obviously, that's not what we're going to be doing. We're going to just be doing the tests. The test that we're going to do in that week 8, or the second week of performance phase, is a 10 RM. Our members have just done 3 weeks of 10s, 3 weeks of 8s, and then only 1 week of 5s. They are definitely not ready for a 5 RM. They need to make sure that they are safe under these lifting conditions. So we want to test something in that higher rep range. Now, obviously, if we have a bunch of new members who have been following the progression and you don't think they're ready to test that 10 RM yet, that's fine. They can still do a 10, but obviously it's just not a rep max. So just for example, if we have a female lifter who has a 3 RM back squat of 75 kilos, a 5 RM back squat of 70 kilos, and a 10 RM back squat of 60 kilos. Let's say in the past 3 weeks, they've only lifted 40, 42.5, and 45. If we're expecting them to go to their 5 RM, which is 70, that's a hell of a lot of weight off. But if we just want them to go to a 10 RM of 60 kilos, cool. This coming, or the first week, they're going to hit 50, 55 kg on their 5 rep. So when they go to test the 10, there's a way smaller jump, and they're going to be in a much better position to hit something-ish close to what they could for their 10 RM. That's the second week of the performance phase. In the final week of the performance phase, we'll do a 5 RM. At least now they've been exposed to some heavier weights. They might not get a true 5 RM, or that might not be as heavy as it was last time around at the end of last year. That's completely fine, but we'll utilize the entire 18 minutes to test that 5. In the videos coming up, we'll tell you about timings and warm-up sets, how to do that properly as well. Slightly different on the inverted row pull-up. You're going to see a 1-minute max effort of inverted rows, followed by some pull-up and seated pull-up efforts as well. You're going to see max chin-up and seated chin-ups on a Saturday session. And then in the final week performance phase, there's a max unbroken chin-up. You're going to have 5 minutes on a condition day to do that as well. So we need to be aware of getting bands out and what options members should be taking. That's performance phase. Questions, let us know.